Yesterday, the news in the Daily Mail, Daily Express, I can't remember, or the headline, I caught it as I came off my boat and went somewhere, was all about the shortage of HRT in doctor surgeries and pharmacies. And I went onto one of the Facebook sites. They've got 97,000 women on this site. And they were saying that, over 200,000 women are relying on HRT. And to be honest with you, I was completely shocked. And I was also completely shocked when I went onto this Facebook group and saw the kind of panic that was ensuing of these women that were saying, oh, I won't be able to get my patches, I won't be able to get this, and I've been to my doctor and he says that, it's not going to be available for a year. And the British Menopause Society is saying to doctors, well, you need to prescribe other things. And there's just this general kind of anxiety that I saw from these women that are, posting on this site. And I thought it's just like being addicted to opioids. We know that there's a huge opioid problem in America, people getting addicted to opioid drugs, and increasingly, tends to happen over there, happens over here. And is it really any different that these pharmaceutical industries are so kind of in control of our health, that we hand over our health to doctors and to big pharma, and that when things go wrong, there ensues this massive panic and fear. And I just think it's indicative of kind of the way that we as a society rely on other people rather than taking responsibility. We are relying on other people to sort us out. And that's not to say that in some cases HRT has its place. If you know me, you'll know that I am not a great fan of HRT. I'm particularly not a great fan of the way it's harvested from consistently kept pregnant cows. Oh, that was a Porsche. Did you hear that? The way it's harvested, these horses are kept pregnant, and, your HRT is harvested from their wee. In some cases, I'm not a lover of that. A lot of people are going towards veganism and trying to help the planet with plastics. Well, how about looking at that kind of stuff as well? Anyway, what I want to say is that, it's like anything to do with your health. It's about really taking responsibility, and maybe before going down the route of HRT is looking at other routes, looking at other ways in which you can manage these perimenopausal symptoms. And my goodness, there are lots of ways of doing it. Understanding, first of all, why your hormone balance is out of whack is a great place to start. Why we are much more subject to perimenopausal symptoms than we ever have been, and that's due to our toxic world. And then some of the small tweaks that you can do in order to bring that hormone, because basically those hormones of progesterone and estrogen need to tail off at the same rate, and they're not doing that because of something called xenoestrogens. These are false estrogens in our water supply, in our food supply, in our personal care products, the stuff that we drink our coffee out of, the plastic that we put over our food to put in the microwave. All of those things are xenoestrogens that are affecting our hormone balance. So, looking at that in the first place, of how to reduce the exposure to xenoestrogens, is just one of the things that you can do as a woman in order to allow this very natural process to take place without you suffering from those symptoms. And I'm coming from a place where I have been, in the perimenopausal period for over 15 years. The average is 7 years. And so I know what I'm talking about. I know the discomfort, I know all of the symptoms. I've had pretty much all of them over the last 15 years. It's a bit busy here now. That's a dairy delivery. So I'm not judging here. I'm not judging to say that, these symptoms aren't uncomfortable, but they are. It's all about really finding natural solutions. Not all of us can take HRT, for example. Not all of us want to take HRT. Not all of us are willing to accept the risks of taking HRT, particularly beyond 5 years. It's really difficult to know what's true and what's not because of the news that's out there, and who's funding the science about the safety of HRT. But I think what you have to do is use your own judgment, is do your research, do your due diligence about it. And I know it's all too easy to look for a quick fix, but it's the same as looking for a quick fix for a pain in your knee or and a headache. Are you the sort that reaches for the paracetamol and the Nurofen without actually taking time to say, well, where did this come from? What's the source of that stress? What's the source of that pain? And what can I do to look at the root cause of it rather than just putting a plaster over it and hoping that it's going to go away? So anyway, that's my thought for today. Let me know what you think.